The speculation in the market was high, but the reality right now in the market looks like this, except for one asset in the market of ISO. XDC was showing you a breakout possibility, and we tried to highlight that this is going to break higher and 0.044 is going to be your target. And when you come to the market right now, you see XDC moving higher, hitting the target. It is one of that asset which is in R3 Coda as a settlement asset, which is a good thing. But the total confusion comes here when you don't see XRP, XLM, HBAR, Quant, any of these assets doing anything big on the day where a lot of people were suggesting it's about to pop off. Now, it's really important to understand first what's ISO20022. Go to the ISO20022 webpage, take your time and understand. As far as I know it, it's a messaging standard. Say if you talk in French and I don't know French, it's impossible to understand. That's what this solves. It actually comes in at that range, not the settlement asset as of now. But yes, in the future, that can play a role as we see the migration is happening here. And one of the key things there is Swift is also in. And Swift as of now is a messaging platform. So for them, this is important. Now, in the crypto market, yes, we are still at $1.2 trillion. We didn't drop back below $1 trillion. We are still holding on to those levels. And it also becomes so important to see like Goldman Sachs coming out and giving you the idea that leading cryptocurrency has gained this much compared to all these other indexes, which kind of gives you an idea that, okay, as we see any correction in the market, we are literally going to absorb a lot more buys, because on the other side, Dow Jones had an accumulation range, but instead of breaking to the upside, you came to the downside at a time when on the same time horizon, Bitcoin broke to the upside. So we went to the opposite direction from Dow. So if you were expecting this to drop, it didn't happen. But right now we are in a pattern which shows that we may drop. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now we are in this rising wedge which has not yet broken higher. We're still holding on to the supports. So on the pattern side of this, you are still looking for a bit of correction. And if you are a trend-based guy, you can literally say, yeah, we actually see that the momentum is fading with each leg up. So we expect this to continue like, with a higher level of momentum. On the short term, you got 1, 2, 3, and then you corrected back down, after which you are not literally getting that amount of power. Right? The bulls are not pushing the market to a new high. Instead, you are slowing a bit down. But the ultra short-term pattern looks like this. Now, we still have no confirmation whether we are going up or to the downside. It's the probability which we are looking at. And the probability shows us that we may revisit this area before we go higher. And it is really important to understand, once you break through a substantial range like this, not all the time you come back down to the exact bottom to retest that. If you remember back in the days, most of us were expecting a retest, but that retest came after you completed the impulsive movements. That is a big confusive stuff in the market. The market can actually do all of these crazy stuff, right? It actually broke higher, it went up. So if you actually put that in the corrective waveforms, you got ABC to the upside and then you corrected back. This capitulation was the retest, right? So you literally did not come back down during the first phase of impulse. So for us who are in the market right now, saying maybe we'll come exactly to the downside cannot be true. Now, based on TA, that's a good stuff. But then we go back into the market and look at like, okay, this was the previous breakout. What happened afterwards? You did not come back down to that range. You went up, you did 1, 2, 3, completed that stuff. You came back down and you almost retested this range. But to be precise, you came literally testing this range and that held, right? So for the time being, yes, we look at the macro chart and we do understand like we are getting a little bit of slowdown here, even on a 3-day chart, getting an inverted hammer. Now, the candle is not closed yet, so the confirmation is not yet here. But we do see that there is a possible correction coming in, and anything closer to 26 to 25 range can be something interesting, because that happens to be a level of support which we are looking forward to, one, and the measured move would be close to 24. So the interesting level here would be to see where the price moved from 25, because by that time you're going to reach the moving average on the macro. Say you go on a daily chart and look at the way moving average where it is right now. It's close to 23,500, right? Last time when you went up parabolic, say for example, when you actually reached the top here, when you put the top here, the moving average was 19. But the price did not drop to 19 because as the price was dropping, the moving average came up. Now they met somewhere close to $21,000. So the same here, right now it's 23,400 and the price may actually correct back down and they may meet somewhere close to 25,000. This is going to be interesting level as it happens, right? So while we look forward to this, we also have to look at ISO assets. XRP is one of them. Right now, the price action is not showing you much of a bullish movement, but the market, the fundamentals, the news and the narratives does show you that. So I won't be surprised to see XRP breaking through the short-term resistance, XRP breaking through this long to medium term resistance, right? This range, if it's breaking now, I wouldn't be surprised, because the narrative right now in the market gives you clarity. And when people like Jeremy gives you this in the easy way to understand, Ripple has always stood for the fair notice defense. And if that is proven, that means Ripple get to win in this game. Meaning right now with what happened on the case here on the Voyager, I think that is going to be valid because this is in the same arena, in the same asset class, and they give you the idea stating that the US regulators themselves cannot even agree on what criteria to use in deciding whether a crypto is a security, which is fair notice. So how can Ripple, the company, know that they shouldn't have done this? So the regulators need to first come on, make a proper regulatory framework, and then say this. I think the judge is going to do that. And now the speculation here is wild, but that looks really good because some of these guys who are experts in this arena, looking at the law and the judgment and the court cases, they're saying like, okay, maybe in a month, maybe in a week, maybe in 2 months, we're going to see something coming out here. And that really is interesting for the price action here, because if you're breaking through, that's going to be a parabolic movement. So when we actually talk about explosive price action due to the fundamental change in the case, the court case giving the clarity, this is what we are talking about. We've been below this level for a long period of time. And if we come on to the conclusion that this level of support has been holding for a long period of time, right? From 2017, we held on to this. Right now, we are bouncing off from that level, given the fact that the market tried coming into that, but we happened to get a bounce, bullish one. After which, we did not really drop back to that range. Instead, we were making a higher low, right? So what matters right now is the moving average on a weekly, which is 50-day moving average, which I'm using here to be conservative. Otherwise, you can go for a 21-day moving average. So here, if we see the price breaking through this range, now we are looking for 0.54, then all the way up to $1.2, $1.3. The price is going to go higher. Now, when we actually zoom out, we now have to ask ourselves, Like, yes, we saw a lot of coins correct back lower and XRP followed them. So you got the 1, 2, 3, 4 and the 5 wave. And the fifth one happens to be inside that range, putting in a double bottom structure, which happens to be really bullish. We have seen that back in Bitcoin, and right now we are observing this here in XRP. So if we actually put that into perspective, we literally are looking at a price action which actually follows not only the wave structure, but also the pattern side of it. Because when you're on a macro and you understand the fact that this is still valid for XRP, it has not been invalidated, and your impulsive movement before that has been so strong. Cup and handle pattern like this on a macro usually shows you you're going to get even bigger movement than this. We've talked about that and the targets before, so we're not going into that structure. But what's even more important for us is the short-term market movement, because right now when you see XDC moving higher, if you go into XDC chart right now, say you're looking at XDC, what's it doing? The price actually went up on a short term. You're getting the volume bullish. You're breaking through all this. And the market just shows you like what the market think about that asset, not what you or me think about that asset, right? And it kind of shows you like, okay, it dropped all the way down. It made an accumulation range. Now it's breaking through to the upside. Something changed. So whether you like it or not, I like it or not, this asset is going higher. So we actually go back on the long-term horizon chart for XDC and we go look at this asset. Now the primary question you have to ask is, RSI came here already. It was about this range, showing you and me the fact that you are looking for this range of strength, which was the all-time high. So don't be surprised if it's actually coming back at least to this range of support resistance to test that one before you actually consolidate. Yes, this is going to be another level of resistance which we need to observe whether the price is able to break that or not, because with the current wick here in the market, we already touched that range 0.47. You see that? That's a key level. And if we are able to consolidate there and then break higher, that's going to be massive. Now, you can ask, why not XRP? And I'm like, the case is still there. We are all speculating it's going to end positively. But the market right now, it's not suggesting that, okay, it is going to end positively. The market is still waiting on a shorter horizon. Now, when we look at the market cap for XRP here, we are still waiting to see macro bullish structure pumping. We are still below the moving average. We need to see that changing. So when we actually go on to the Bitcoin side of this is to actually get an understanding, right? Where the market is right now. Bitcoin dominance is suggesting, okay, here we are. We have been slowing down in Bitcoin dominance at this level for quite some time. So being accurate, it's from 2021 May, we've been slowing down here. And that's the time when XRP, all these large cap altcoins went up. When Bitcoin got rejected here. But the primary question here, which we'll have to ask ourselves, is that the last week was really bullish. The Bitcoin dominance just increased dramatically and it went up to this level of resistance. So if we are getting that follow-up, are we going to break this level and test the next level, which is going to be a critical one, 52? That means Bitcoin can still continue upside, 30,000, 32,000, 33,000, and still altcoins show you it's still waiting. And few selected altcoins moves like this. And that can surprise the market, right? And that's literally why you have to go through a lot of these assets one by one, looking at what that asset is doing. What really is the market showing us. And if we actually look at that and say, okay, there is a possibility this may break high and it's going to pump that 60-65%. Now the market gives you the understanding as we just saw, right? So on the macro structure and the micro structure, now we are looking at central banks. What are they about to do? Here, billionaires are talking about the market and the thought process is same. But what surprised me was like Elon Musk was actually calling for at least a drop in 50 basis points, not the pause, or not saying instead of 25, let's do 10. It's like drop 50 basis point. So I don't think the Fed is going to listen to this guy. For sure, he's a great human being and a leader, but the issue is Federal Reserve was talking too much on the inflation side. And if they do another 25 basis points, we'll see a lot more small banks drop. And I think they want that. That's not a good story for a lot of us, but if they are about to do another 25 basis point hike, that's going to be bad. But keep this in mind, other central banks like Canada has already paused the interest rate. They understand that if they do another hike, it is going to kill the economy. So they paused. Or on the other side, they know that the level of hikes which they have already done is hurting the economy. Inflation is slowing down and they don't have to do another one. So in just 2 days, we will see what the market is doing with the Fed rate hike announcements. If they think, okay, we are pausing, the market is going to go nuts, rally. But I think that's something which the Fed does not want. And on the other side, here what they're talking about is like, okay, insure every deposits in the country. Now I'm like, FedEx does not have enough balance on their balance sheet to do that. So literally, Fed has to print. With the current rate, if the government is borrowing that amount of money, it won't really look good. Even right now, the government is paying like, massive, close to $1 trillion in interest rate. So I don't think that's even possible at this rate. Either drop the rate and then insure this, or it's going to be a painful year for the banking sector. People are going to move out of banking sector because they really don't trust what's happening. They're concerned about their hard working money, right? They worked for, say, if you work till 50 years, you saved all the money in the bank and now you can't take it out. That's not a good scenario. So having that different assets, let it be gold, silver, if you're conservative, if you're young, you have the risk tolerance going into crypto or other similar asset class may help, right? So if you are here and you're trying to see what the hell is happening in the market, we do have some positive news. We do have the technological revolution moving, but these kind of, millionaire stuff is a little bit of hype. We need to understand things as it is, right? So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And if you're looking for updates and information like this, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.